Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin broadcast from Hanoi. I'm Hồng Nhung. Now take a look at our top stories as usual.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc attends Bluffing Festival in Hà Nam. Top legislator works with Defense Intelligence Department. Vietnam jumps 28 places in COVID-19 recovery index.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc on February 7 took part in the Tịch Điền Festival in the Red River Delta province of Hà Nam. The traditional plowing festival is held annually with the aim to pray for year bumper harvest and prosperity.
According to historical records, the festival dates back to 987 during the Lê Dynasty, when King Lê Đại Hành decided to plough a field in Đội Sơn Commune, Duy Tiên district in now Hà Nam province to encourage rice cultivation. In his remarks, Phúc stressed that, given natural disasters and diseases, particularly COVID-19 last year, the agricultural and rural sector has had to ensure food security, create a foundation for social stability, and contributed to Vietnam's international integration, export and prestige promotion. Hailing the meaningful message of the Tịch Điền Festival, the President stressed that the party and state always encourage the development of agriculture in the cause of national construction and protection. All resources ought to be mobilized for farming and rural growth, while greater attention should be paid to application and transfer of scientific and technological advances toward the formation of a smart agricultural sector, the state leader noted. He recommended all level administrations and sectors work to capitalize on international markets on the basis of 15 existing free trade agreements signed by the country so far.
On the same day, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc attended a groundbreaking ceremony for the second phase of the project to build a road connecting Hanoi-Hải Phòng Expressway and Cầu Giấy Ninh Bình Expressway. The $31 million project plays an important role for the traffic in the southeast area of Hanoi and even the inner capital. The construction is expected to be completed in 2023. Speaking at the ceremony, President Phúc praised efforts made by relevant quarters who are engaging in the project. Phúc suggested that Ministry of Transport, Hà Nam Province and others be fully aware of their responsibilities for the key project. The quarter should follow the schedule, ensure the quality and efficiency of the work, and at the same time prevent waste and corruption in investment and construction activities, the state leader stressed. Chairman of the National Assembly Vương Đình Huệ visited the General Department of Defense Intelligence on February 7. Chairman Huệ hailed the General Department for its efforts in accomplishing key political tasks, as well as its advisory role for the Standing Board of the Central Military Commission in the field of military intelligence. The General Department also well-performed mass mobilization work, contributing to building a strong and transparent party organization, he said. In order to fulfill tasks for 2022 and subsequent years, the top legislator asked the General Department to fully grasp and effectively carry out resolutions and directives on military intelligence work to meet requirements in the new situation. The General Department should continue building a force that is absolutely loyal to the party, nation and people, politically and ideologically stable, ready to perform and fulfill every task assigned by the party, state, army and people, Huệ stressed. Vietnam jumped 28 places to 19th in the January edition of Nikkei's COVID-19 Recovery Index, thanks to a world-leading vaccination rate and signs of its tourism industry reopening.
Having adopted a strategy of living with COVID-19, Vietnam relaxed entry regulations on foreign nationals at the end of last month. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has also proposed that from March 31st, Vietnam fully open up to international tourism, with inbound and outbound tourists welcomed at all international border gates.
Over 160,000 automobiles were imported to Vietnam last year, up 52% annually, mostly from Thailand, Indonesia and China, reported the General Department of Vietnam Customs.
Preliminary data from the department showed that the December figure was around 15,200, worth $433 million. Among them, vehicles from Thailand, China, and Indonesia accounted for 91% of the total auto imports to Vietnam. Also in December, the number below 9-seat cars were 56.2% of the total, down 23.5% in volume month on month. Those with more than 9 seats came from China with 54 units and Thailand 28. Domestic firms also bought nearly 2,600 specialized automobiles worth $117 million. Most of them are from China.
Half of students and teachers are expected to have sufficient access to online classes by 2025 under a project on the application of information technology and digital transformation in education and training recently approved.
Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam has signed a decision approving the project set for 2022-2025 with a vision to 2030. Accordingly, Vietnam will strongly reform educational methods while utilizing the digital environment in teaching and learning by 2025. A number of made in Vietnam online learning platforms will be formed and used by more than half of the students. The project aims to facilitate the application of IT and digital transformation in education and training, promote the digital transformation ecosystem in the sphere, and improve the capacity for teachers, educational managers, and learners, among others. The project also targets online communication between schools and families and the implementation of advanced school administration models based on digital platforms.
European companies ended 2021 more positive and optimistic about Vietnam trade and investment environment, according to the Business Climate Index, or BCI, announced by the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam.
The BCI reached the highest point following the fourth wave of COVID-19 infections, with positive sentiment reaching 61 points, a jump of 42 points since the third quarter of 2021, after the end of lockdowns and the reopening of normal commercial operations. The BCI remains below its pre-pandemic peak. However, it is clear evidence that confidence is returning to the market. As many as 58% of European business leaders are now anticipating economic stabilization and growth in the first quarter of 2022, while only 17% of those predict a deterioration. European enterprises are also more confident about the prospects of their development in this post-pandemic new normal. Up to 43% of European businesses in the survey plan to increase their investment in the first quarter of 2022 compared to just 17% 3 months ago.
The planning of Vietnam's seaports for the next decade set a target of creating breakthrough in seaport system and the attraction of more foreign investment.
Under Prime Minister's decision approving the Vietnam Seaport Plan in the 2021 to 2030 period with a vision to 2050, seaports are divided into different groups depending on the scale and function. The seaport system is connected with railway and waterway routes as well as the national highway and local road system. According to the planning, Vietnam has 2 special seaports including Hải Phòng and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, 15 seaports of first class, 6 seaports of second class, and 13 seaports of third class. The planning gives priority to upgrading infrastructure of international gateway ports such as Lạch Huyện Port in Hải Phòng and Cái Mép Port in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. The seaport system is expected to handle 1,140 to 1,423 million tons of cargo, including 38 to 47 million TEUs of container cargo, and transport about 10.1 to 10.3 million passengers. Total investment needed for the scheme until 2030 is about $13.8 billion.
2 Vietnamese photographers have been honored in 3 different categories for the 2021 Travel Photographer of the Year.
Chen Viet-Phan, a journalist at Lao Động newspaper, was grand winner of the Smart Shot I Traveled category and runner-up of the people and their stories for photo collection on Chị Ngọc, a 90-year-old cobbler in Ho Chi Minh City who has been making shoes for over 60 years. Nguyễn Tấn Tuấn, who now works and lives in Ho Chi Minh City, was honored among the special mention group in the Best Single Image in the Portfolio category for his photo capturing water buffaloes along Dầu Tiếng Lake in Tây Ninh Province.
As part of the National Intangible Cultural Heritage, the Tứ Linh Boat Racing Festival in Lý Sơn Island District in the central province of Quảng Ngãi is organized annually to pay tribute to national ancestors. The tribute is also paid to soldiers who fought for the country's sovereignty over the Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos.
From the 4th to the 6th day of the first lunar month, islanders and visitors from the mainland come together on Lý Sơn for the boat race. The festival is also an opportunity for local fishing families to pray for prosperity, peace, and smooth voyages at sea.
Through the boat racing festival, local fishermen pray for a year of bumper catches and prosperity.
The festival also aims to pay homage to the island's ancestral inhabitants and the soldiers who fight for national sovereignty of the Hoàng Sa Paracel and Trường Sa Spratly archipelagos.
The boat racing festival pays tributes to our ancestors and also the soldiers who continue to fight for our national sovereignty.
The Tứ Linh Boat Racing Festival is associated with Vietnam's long history, when residents from the mainland settled on Lý Sơn Island between the late 16th century and the early 17th century under the late Trung Hưng dynasty and the Nguyễn Laws.
As fishermen who ply the seas around Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa, we hope that this year, the year of the tiger, we'll see bountiful catches.
The boat racing festival has been preserved by the people of Lý Sơn Island for nearly 200 years. It was designated a National Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2021.
We have more news coming next. Let's take a look.
The impressive coverage of COVID-19 vaccine has provided a particular important basis for Vietnam to accelerate economic recovery and reopen the aviation and tourism sectors to international friends. The country has been piloting the hosting of international tourists in 7 localities, but this pilot program has served only 8,500 visitors over the last 2 months. Apart from restoration of all unilateral and bilateral visa exemption and e-visa program, the businesses recommended the government consider expanding the visa exemption to tourists from the key and strategic markets such as the entire Europe, Australia, and North America. They also appealed for extending the visa exemption duration from 14 days to 30 days to match the trend towards longer holidays.
The Ba Dinh Pagoda Festival kicked off in Gia Sinh Commune, Gia Viễn District of the northern province of Ninh Bình on February 6th, on the 6th day of the Lunar New Year.
This has been the 8th edition of the annual festival since the Chiang An Landscape Complex in the locality was recognized as the World Cultural and Natural Heritage Site by UNESCO. This year, due to COVID-19, only basic rituals are conducted, while festive activities are restricted. The ancient Ba Dinh Pagoda, built thousands of years ago, is located on Ba Dinh Mountain. According to the Vietnam concept, the ancient Ba Dinh Pagoda is located on an area regarded as a sacred land, given its birthplace of the animate figures of the nation, including kings, saints, and divinities. The festival will last until the end of the 3rd lunar month.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time.